Hi everyone and welcome back. Okay, I've got a sepia wash monochrome painting for you today. I'm copying a painting from one of the old masters again. This is a painting that was originally done by an artist called Henry Ninham, and originally this wasn't a watercolour wash or a monochrome sepia wash or anything like that. It was originally an oil painting. So I've taken the original reference photo and sent it black and white. I thought I'd do something a little bit different today, because there's been a little bit of chat on my Patreon channel about doing some monochrome studies and some sepia washes over pencil drawings and things like that. So I thought I'd do this one in a sepia wash and see how it turns out, see how we go. So the materials that I'm using for this one are my usual Daily Rowney Langton Prestige 140 pound cold press watercolour paper, and I'm just using a tube of Rembrandt Sepia. That's obviously been squeezed into a pan in my paint box there. Now the Rembrandt Sepia is actually a really nice colour, slightly warmer than your usual sepia. It's more like a Van Dyke brown, not quite as warm as a burnt umber or anything like that, but certainly a lot warmer than your average sepia colour. Now monochrome paintings can actually be really good fun to do, and also they can be really beneficial for beginners as well, because basically you're not worrying about colour, you're just worrying about tone. You know, we're just using that one colour to suggest all of the tones in there, all of the light, all of the atmosphere, without worrying about colour mixing or matching colours or colour harmonies or anything like that at all. Because one thing I actually find with beginners watercolours is they often overlook the tonal quality of the painting, and they tend to rely on different colours to get this separation between various elements in a landscape. So they'll put red next to blue. It'll be exactly the same tone, but it's the colour which is giving it the separation. Now if you were to actually send the finished watercolour painting into a black and white image, you'd probably notice that a lot of the tones that you've got there are very, very similar and not really like the reference photo at all. And you can actually see where you actually need to strengthen colours to get a darker, richer tone, instead of actually just relying on the colour separations themselves to give you the separation in the painting and the differentiation between, you know, various elements in the picture. So that's something you can actually try at home. You know, next time you've got a reference photo that you're going to do a watercolour painting of, do the watercolour painting of it in colour, and then when it's finished, take a photo of it and take that photo plus the reference photo, put them into your editor, send them both black and white, and then compare the tones. You'll probably see that the reference photo has a lot more tonal value in it than your watercolour does. That's because we tend to rely on colour separation instead of tonal separation when we're painting with watercolour. Can be a little bit of a trap that beginners fall into. So actually being able to visually see the differences between your edited black and white watercolour and your reference photo can be very helpful to you. Another thing you can do is try this first. Try doing the watercolour in a monochrome, either sepia or Payne's grey or burnt umber, something like that. A nice colour that gives you a good full tonal range, and practice the tones first, and that'll give you a good idea of how strong you should probably be mixing the colours and not just relying on different colours to get the separation in your painting. So when you actually paint in monochrome, you tend to become more mindful of the tonal qualities in the painting, because you're not focusing on any colour that's happening in the painting. Okay, we've got a little bit of colour there, you know, a little bit of sepia, a little bit of warm brown, or if you're using Payne's grey or something like that, you've obviously got something there. But generally, you're just being more mindful of the tones than the actual colour. And it's actually another reason why I really like the pencil and wash technique that you often see me do with watercolour. Because by using graphite first, I can establish all of the tones quickly without actually worrying about colour at that stage. And then when all the graphite work's finished, I've got all of the tones there, all of the lights and darks are already fixed in place, and then all I need to do is just glaze over them with colour. And it gives a lovely effect. And it's a great technique again for beginners to do, because like I say, a lot of beginners, they struggle with getting the tonal values right with watercolours, and by actually using the pencil and wash technique, like I say, all of your tones are already there for you and you don't have to worry about that. You can just enjoy the colour wash process. And it's like a similar approach with doing a sepia wash or a Payne's grey wash, any monochrome style painting. You can put a little bit of graphite down first for guidance to help you along, so you know approximately where you want the lights and the darks to be, and then you can just build the picture up slowly with light washes and glazes until you hit those tones almost perfectly. And another good thing about sepia, which I like as well, it really gives a nice sort of vintage photo look to it, which I think is very in keeping with, you know, a lot of these old style paintings like this. Now, if you'd like to follow along with this painting in real time, there's a full lesson of this over on my Patreon channel, all in real time narration and everything. It only costs £3.50 a month to join, and for that you will get access to over 1,000 videos, the community section where you can chat with like-minded people, share your artwork there and view the other members' artwork and comment on it if you like. It's a really great community of people we've got over there. I'm sure you'll really enjoy it. So I'll leave links to Patreon in the end screen cards and in the description below the video as well. Okay, so we're just about at the end of the painting now. So don't forget that little tip there about not relying on colour, you know, to get your finished works. There's tone involved in there as well. And, you know, a really useful method of assessing your tones is to actually send your watercolour paintings over to your editor, send them black and white, and do the same with the reference photo and compare them. I think it's a great technique for actually establishing whether you've got the tones correct or not, you know, whether you need to adjust or not. So if you like this video and you found it helpful in the slightest, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. And if you don't like the video, don't just hit that dislike button once, hit it twice and really let me know that you don't like the video. Okay, so thanks for watching everyone, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.